Hello, you are welcome to the channel, and in today's lesson we shall be talking about verbs. And as usual, we begin with the definition of a verb. A verb is a word that expresses an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. I take that again. A verb is a word that expresses an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Verbs are very important in sentence construction. A verb forms the main parts of the predicate, and that is why verbs are also called predicators. Let's see examples of verbs. Be, is, are, was, were, being, been, will, can, shall, may, could, should, have, had, do, does, did, go, sleep, talk, jump, look, listen, play, dance, sing, jubilate, work, signify, etc. This list of verbs includes the verbs be, have, modal verbs, and lexical verbs. It is worthy to remind us that lexical verbs belong to the open group. This means that we cannot exhaust all the examples of lexical verbs. We have unlimited examples of lexical verbs. Now let's see verbs in sentences. Example A. Johnson is kind. Is, as used in this sentence, expresses the state of being. Remember, in our definition of a verb at the beginning of this video, we did say that a verb expresses an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Is in this sentence, Johnson is kind, expresses the state of being. Right? Johnson being a kind person. Example B now. The event held as planned. Held in this sentence is the past tense of hold, and it expresses occurrence. In example C, the man spoke French fluently. Spoke is the verb in this sentence, and it is the past tense of speak. It expresses action. Verbs perform a central function in clauses. They usually occur after the subject, and they are the most important element in the clause structure. Finite and non-finite verbs. A finite verb is the one that shows tense, number, person, or mood, while a non-finite verb does not show any of these four. So let's take note of this. A finite verb shows tense, 1, number, 2, person, 3, or mood, any of these four. It is not important that a finite verb shows all the four. If a verb shows any of these four, it is a finite verb. Let's see examples of finite verbs in sentences. Sentence D. We speak to the boy every day. Speak as used in sentence D is a finite verb. First, it shows present tense. It shows simple present tense. 2, it agrees with the subject, plural. It shows plurality because the subject we is a plural pronoun. Of course, the verb speak is also plural. So it shows plurality, that is number, and it also shows tense, present tense. Example E. She speaks to the boy every day. Speaks also shows present tense. That is 1. Then it shows singularity because the subject of the sentence, which is the pronoun she, is singular. Therefore, the verb is also singular. Speaks, it shows number, it also shows tense. In sentence F, she spoke to the boy last night. Spoke is a finite verb because it shows tense, the simple past tense. How do we identify a finite verb in a group of verbs? Sometimes a sentence may contain 2 or 3 verbs. So of all these verbs in the verbal group, which one is finite and which one is non-finite. Let's look at sentence G in order to answer this question. She may speak to the boy tomorrow. Our verbal group here is may speak, and it is a finite verbal group because the verb may shows present tense and it also shows the mood of probability. However, if we are to separate the verbs in the group, may is a finite verb while speak is a non-finite verb. For example, if we are to express the same sentence in another mood, it is the verb may that will change while speak remains unchanged. For example, if you want to express sentence G in past tense, it would be she might speak to the boy. And if you want to change the mood of the same sentence, probably from probability to ability, the sentence would read she can speak to the boy. You would realize that as we change the mood and the tense of the sentence, the finite verb changes accordingly, but the non-finite verb remains the same. That is because normally it is the finite verb that shows the mood, that shows the tense. So when the mood changes, the finite verb is bound to change. When the tense changes as well, the finite verb is bound to change. Note, if we are to look at the two verbs together as one group, it is a finite verbal group. In a verbal group, the first verb in the group is usually the finite verb. Let's look at example J. We have been searching for the key. Have is the finite verb, while been and searching are non-finite. If we want to express this same sentence in past perfect continuous tense, it would have been we had been searching for the key. You would realize that the verb have has to change to had in the past because it is the finite. It has to respond to tense. Also, let's see example K. The man did not bring your parcel. Did is the finite verb. It is the verb that shows that it is past tense. Did not bring is a verbal group, but did in the group is the finite verb. So these are examples of finite verbs and non-finite verbs functioning together in a verbal group. Now we want to see examples of non-finite verbs standing alone. The first example of non-finite verb is to plus verb. I mean the preposition to plus a verb. Example L. It is dangerous to walk alone at night. Now, to work is an example of non-finite verb. If you look at that group of words closely, it doesn't show tense, it doesn't show number, it doesn't show person, and neither does it show mood. So it is non-finite. And again, if we analyze sentence L very well, the verb of the sentence is not to work. To work in sentence L is a non-finite verb, but it is not the verb of the sentence. The verb of the sentence is. It is dangerous to walk alone at night. Is the finite verb and the main verb of the sentence because it shows present tense and it shows singularity. It shows person, singularity. Whereas to walk is a non-finite verb functioning as the complement of the adjective dangerous. Let's see sentence M. She wanted to speak to the boy. To speak is a non-finite verb. The second type of non-finite verb is present participle verb plus ing. They are also called gerunds. Example N. She was advised to desist from smoking. Smoking is a non-finite verb and it is a gerund. It functions as the object of the preposition from smoking. Example O. Dancing is my hobby. Dancing here is a non-finite verb and it functions as the subject of the sentence. Example P. I love the racing car. Racing here is a non-finite verb and it functions as the modifier of the noun car. The third type of non-finite verb is past participle verb plus ed2 or hen. Example Q. Broken and defeated. The man left without saying a word. Broken, defeated in this sentence are non-finite verbs. And here the function they perform is adverbial. Example R. I reserved some boiled water for you. Boil there is a non-finite verb and it functions as the modifier of the noun water. The last type of non-finite verb is the infinitive. Example S. She would not let you go. Go, as used in this sentence, is a non-finite verb. Example T. Did she speak to the bird? Speak, as used there, is a non-finite verb. Example U. She does nothing but cry. Cry is non-finite. Example V, which is the last example for this lesson. I have never heard her speak. Speak here is a non-finite verb. If you pay attention to these verbs that we have identified from example L to example V, if you look at them very well, examine them very well, you will realize that none of them shows number, person, tense, or mood because they are non-finite verbs. So we have come to the end of this lesson. I do well to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video with people, and let's grow together. Thank you. Bye-bye.